Hi, this is Trevor Conquergood. Welcome to this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. And the topic for this week is going to be about wordplay and specifically how you can create your own custom wordplay shapes. First of all, what's wordplay? Well, this is the tool right here found on our toolbar up at the top. If you click on wordplay, it opens up a window where you can create an embroidery design that is essentially a shape that you choose, filled in with words that you get to decide. And so notice that it's got the words word and play. I can get rid of that and make it say FTCU. Click enter, say awesome. If I click enter, it means start a new word or phrase because I can put two words together. So I could also do fun, fun, fun. And if I want, here I'll use backspace, I can put commas in there. And that's something that's new because in the past, the way the tool used to work, commas, you didn't push enter to start a new word or phrase. You used a comma. So the cool thing now is we've changed the tool in, I guess, the update earlier this year, 2021, to make it so that you start a new line in this word box. And that way you can actually include commas in your wordplay. Now, when you've got things kind of ready to go, you click generate, and now the software goes to work. And it takes a bit of time because it does have to process and decide how many words can it fit, and by all the parameters that you can adjust here, and what font you've selected. And so it takes a moment, and I suppose it depends on how fast your actual computer works. Mine is just a typical laptop computer, and it's at least 3 years old, and so, not as fast as maybe you'd like it to be. But that said, it doesn't take too long. It's just about done. It's generating, and you get a little progress bar, so you can see that it's like still working, kind of even tells you how many % done it is. So when it's done, you'll see that I'll get to a visual representation of what has been created. So we haven't finished yet, and we can still, it's like putty in our hands, so you can still change the shape, you can still change the words. Notice the words fun, fun, fun will always appear together. In other words, because they're in one line, the software knows they belong together, and so you can put fun, comma, fun, comma, fun. Other factors that I can control. So first of all, the font. You could choose any font that you want, and whatever font you choose, all the words will be in the same font. You can change the fonts afterwards, and so if you noticed on the check mark that I kind of had at the beginning, the one that's kind of back here, there were several fonts that I used in that, but I did it afterwards. You do start out, so you can choose one font to begin with. You get to say what size that will be, and then the software scales it with a maximum and a minimum that you can control. So currently it's set for maximum of 100, which means 0.79 will be the largest words we get, and a minimum of 10, which means it's allowed to go all the way down to 10% of whatever this is set at, and a variety of sizes in between. The angle of the words, and so if you want to limit that to maybe just do only horizontal, then you can change this from any to just horizontal, or you can even do any two of the three. But if you check all three, that's kind of like saying any, and it's basically that. So if you say horizontal, and then you click generate, now it's going to generate again with a new letter style and only words on the horizon. And so every time you click generate, the software will make new words. In fact, even if you change nothing and just click generate, it will shake up those words and place them down again. And that way you can kind of experiment with this tool and interact with it until you get a result that really makes you happy. So yeah, you can see it does take just a little bit of time every time I click generate to generate the results. Now, another reason that that's going to be, I guess, variable will be how much results there are. So in other words, how many words are getting created, and that's going to depend upon two things, really: the size of the letters and the size of the actual artwork, because currently we selected an apple and it's set at like a 4-inch size, and so at that 4-inch size with 0.79 maximum size letters, there's only so many rows that can kind of fit inside of the apple. So if you made this number bigger, then it would be, making more of the words. So you have other settings here. First of all, you can view it in 3D on and off. You can change from metric to imperial for your sort of size information. There's a history here. So if you want to go, I really loved it the way I had it previously, I can click undo and it'll go back to what it was. And so that way I think you can get it and be like, I really love it, but maybe I'll try one more time. And then you're like, no, I want to go back to what I had. Or no, I think I'll just move on. And so there's an undo and a redo in the history for the tool. So once you're happy with everything, and I guess the one thing I didn't talk about was here where it says the shape and it says artwork. So the actual apple is just being left as a piece of artwork unless I come here and choose to make it a run stitch or a steel stitch. And again, you could change that later. Like if you were planning on doing it as an applique, it doesn't really matter what you choose, run, steel, or artwork, because you can always change it later anyways, right? And I think you understand that with the Floriani software, that what we're making with this window, when we're finished, and we'll know we're finished because we'll click OK. And when we click OK, it'll actually make that apple. And once it makes that apple, I can still click off to, select and click on the apple shape just to select that one piece of the design. And then I could come and click on, say, for example, the applique tool. Looks like my screen's a little bit there. That makes it better. And now the design includes an applique for the apple as opposed to just a plain steel stitch. And so, yeah, it's a very fun tool. Now, how did I get the check mark? Because you probably don't have the same check mark as me. In other words, when I click on the wordplay tool, the contents of the shape list, it comes with a bunch of the shapes, yes, but the check mark was not one of them. In fact, I added the check mark in one of the classes that I teach. Back when I did my very first FTCU workshop classes, this was one of the topics that we did, and I showed how to make your own check mark. And so I thought I'd re-show that today, how you can create your own shapes and then add them. And so what I did was I went on the internet and I found a kind of a bottle shape. So here we have a new image. I would have searched the internet for SVG shapes that were free and then downloaded it. And then I opened it. See, it says right here, bottle-longnet.svg. And an SVG is a special kind of image because although it is artwork, it's not an embroidery design, it's actually made up of shapes. And you can see in my sequence view that the bottle is an actual shape. And I can click on orange to color it orange. Or I can uncheck the fill tab and make it an orange outline. So this is an ideal shape for wordplay. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is as much as you can add your own custom shapes, I have lots of custom shapes that I've made that probably wouldn't make great wordplay shapes. And the reason for that is you need a shape that kind of has just an outline only. So if you go looking in your custom shapes, and I have lots of unique custom shapes that I've created over the years, and something like the bear, yeah, that works great for wordplay. But this anchor design, maybe not so much, because it's actually more of a complex shape that's made up of more than one, I guess, individual shape. And how can you tell that? Well, when you click on the artwork, notice the break apart option, right? So what we really have are like a series of shapes that have been put together. And yes, I can use, it is a vector shape, but I guess the point here is where are the words going to go? And I don't think the software would understand. It's going to want a simple vector shape. So the bottle would be a simple vector shape in that it really only includes one outline. Notice if I click on the bottle and select it, there is not a break apart option like there is when I click on this anchors design that I've created. The anchors one, I remember making it. If I click on break apart, you'll see that there's actually a whole series of pieces that it takes to make that artwork shape. And the only time they really kind of work together is when you group them all together and it knows that these are the filled in parts and these are the void parts. Anyway, the point here is if you're trying to make your own custom shapes, what you might be able to do is take the artwork of that, ships and anchors, and break it apart and look for the one piece that seems to be the global outline of the whole part of it. That might be able to be a possible custom wordplay shape. And so I just thought I would go over that before I showed you how to save these as wordplay shapes. So whatever you want to save as a wordplay shape, select it. It needs to be artwork, so not an embroidery design, but an artwork shape. And once you have an artwork shape selected, you use the Tools drop-down menu, and you'll see that there's actually two options here. There's Save Custom Shape, so that puts it in your custom shape library, and then there's Save Wordplay Shape, and that'll put it into your wordplay library. Now, other options here, well, Save Crazy Quilting, that has to do with Total Quilter. Save Symbol, that's from FTCU, yes, but that's actually for saving little embroidery designs. And so they're totally different parts of the software, right? Symbols, that's over here, right? When you get your, that's the Crazy Quilting. There's your Save Symbols. So symbols, when I turn that on, there's, a little anchor, but it's actual embroidery stitches. So they're not artwork shapes. They are embroidery, little embroidery symbols. So when I select this bottle and I go to Tools and I say Save Custom Shape, and then I'll call it a name. So the software knows right where to save it. I'll just call it Bottle and click Save. Could have called it Bottle 1, Bottle 2, if you were planning on having a series of bottles. But that does not make it available as a wordplay shape. It'll put it into my custom shapes library. And so now if I look in my custom shapes library, yes, there will be a bottle in here right there. But if you want to use it as a wordplay shape, then you need to select it, Tools, and say Save Wordplay Shape. And that's a different kind of area there. And so I'll call it Bottle in here as well and click Save. So now I've saved this same shape in two different areas, and I'll always have it available to use in our software. And so if I click on the new, not the new tool, but the cool tool, Wordplay, I can look for my new bottle shape. And it'll be alphanumerical, so there's Bottle right there. And now you might want to put in here words like, I don't know, red and white and wine, or whatever it is. And you could put cute little sayings in your word, bottle. This is an 11-inch tall bottle to start out with. And so I'm thinking maybe I want to do it smaller. So I'll limit it to 6 inches and click Generate. And so now it's going to start to put words in this font, in these words, with these parameters. And so it's really a fun tool, and I hope that you've enjoyed today's video and learning more about the Wordplay tool and how to use it and the newest updates to it, as well as how to find your own shapes to use with it. So even if you want to make your own shapes and draw them, that is totally possible. You would, of course, use the pencil tool to draw a shape. So I'll let this finish up here and even just quickly show you how to do that. And then I'll let you go for today. Hope you have a wonderful week. Happy November 11th to everybody. I guess Veterans Day or Remembrance Day as we call it up here in Canada. So there's my red wine bottle. Anyway, it's a ton of fun. It's called Wordplay. If you want to draw your own shapes, all you got to do is take the pencil, use, one of the different drawing modes. I'll just put it in a freehand drawing mode and click to draw the world's coolest squiggle, and then right click to let go and select my squiggle, and then choose Tool drop down menu and say Save Wordplay Shape. And really it's as easy as that, guys. You can have your own. We'll call this one Blob. And there's already a blob in there, so we'll call it Blob 2 and click Save. So now when I go into my tool, one last time, Wordplay, click here and scroll down to look for your new blob. And there's blob number 1 and there's blob number 2. And so you can have as many different shapes as you want, and you want to put anything in there you want to put in there inside of your UFO and alien, and click Generate. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something new. Until next week, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening. Yeah, and I'll wait for this to generate so you can see the words in the latest one, and then I'll let you go for now. So thanks so much, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and look forward to next week. All right, of course, it takes a long time, but I got a big, oh, look, it's 14-inch blob, so it's going to put quite a few copies of the word UFO and alien inside of that shape, and so that's why it's taking a little bit longer, but fine enough. It's almost done now, and we should start to see the results. And even with my shape being not closed like that, it won't bother it. It'll just fill in the area that it can see. And so yeah, wordplay is a ton of fun, and we added the ability to put commas in there so that you guys could use it to put, phrases and other cool things in there. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.